NCL over the last year has had some major wins. It's been an uphill battle, but we've come out on top.
Because of NCL's support, we actually had a big victory this week. The state of Michigan actually went to $12 an hour and one fair wage, ending the legacy of slavery in Michigan. If it can happen in Michigan, it can happen anywhere, and we're so excited to win this campaign across the country with the National Consumers League.
National Consumers League is dedicated to promoting the interests of consumers and workers in the United States and abroad. We've seen our democracy challenged in the last year and a half, very seriously. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is really using the levers of democracy in the interests of consumers and workers. We have brought to the attention of members of Congress, members of regulatory agencies, some of the many businesses that we work with, how important it is for consumers and workers to have a voice in the halls of power in Washington, D.C. and across the country.
Hi, everyone. I am so pleased to join you to say a few words, just a few, about Sally and her team at the NCL and to thank them for their leadership in consumer protection. Whether it was product safety or car safety or airline safety or passenger rights or food safety or financial protection and privacy rights. Now, all of these issues you are still working on because there's always more to do, especially now in the online world.
So the fraud.org campaign has been around for over 20 years. And what we've seen over that time is that fraudsters constantly evolve. And the past 2 years have been no different. When the pandemic hit, we called it a tsunami of fraud. And that's exactly what happened. And so what we have seen is that these scammers who are incredibly organized, very technically savvy, often located outside of the reach of U.S. law enforcement, really redoubled their effort to defraud consumers at a time when they were especially vulnerable. And so we redoubled our efforts, not just to educate consumers to help them spot these scams, but also to work with partners in government and industry and other advocacy groups to get in place protections in law, protections in regulation, and protections in company practices to make sure that consumers are as at little risk as possible.
The mission of the African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council is to inform and influence tobacco stakeholders in tobacco control policies. So we participated in a podcast with Sally that helped to promote and educate the community or consumers about tobacco control and about the ban that the FDA is initiating. And through that, we were able to reach audiences that we probably wouldn't ordinarily been able to reach. We know that African Americans disproportionately are smokers of menthol, users of menthol, and so it will affect African Americans primarily because I think it will allow us to save more lives, right? Because a lot of folks are dying from smoking menthol cigarettes, and so it will allow us to help save lives.
My name is Alma Hernandez. I am a former child laborer in agriculture, where at the age of 5, I was taken in strawberry fields, and from the ages of 12 to 17, I was taken in the blueberry fields. It was both physically and mentally exhausting, and both the physical and mental exhaustion led to me falling back in school. We need organizations like the Child Labor Coalition because we need them to advocate for children so they are not put through emotional, physical, and mental distress or miss out on any educational opportunities.
LifeSmarts was a great foundational skill set, especially in personal finance, which was the category I specialized my first year of participating. And I applied that skill to my investment banking career, which was my first job out of school, and then transitioned into private equity, where I continued to use my financial skill set. LifeSmarts as a whole gave me that foundational skill set that has led me to where I am today. You know, the number of high school kids that are able to learn these fundamental skill sets and apply it to their careers or even just to their daily lives is tremendous and something that just really is lacking in the school system.
The biggest challenges we have is that we're outnumbered and we're outspent. When we make our case in the halls of Congress or in state legislatures or with companies, And so we're looking forward to the battles that lie ahead. And I am convinced that what we do, using the levers of democracy in the interests of consumers and workers, we will push the ball forward on behalf of consumers, as we have for the many, many decades we've been around. When you win, it is very sweet, and we don't win all the time, but we do win more than we should given the odds.